You know, for most of our life, we've been doing the work, doing the chores, doing what needs to be done. But then one day we retire and we're told, just relax, enjoy being. But here's the truth that no one really prepares us for. When the doing stops, who are we being? Because that's an unsettling question that retirement brings. And today, I want to talk about that space between doing and being, and how learning to live there might just be the greatest lesson of this next chapter. Hi, I'm Roxanne, and this is Reinventing Me at 60, where we talk about navigating this second half of our life with courage, curiosity, and a good dose of honesty. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been following along this journey of mine, thank you. So grab your coffee and let's unpack this idea of doing versus being in retirement, and how learning to just be might be the hardest thing we ever do. Think about it. From childhood, we're measured by what we do. We do our homework, we do our chores, we do well in school. Then we grow up, and it's all about doing our jobs, building our careers, raising our families, volunteering, managing homes, planning vacations, and so on. Even our hobbies become projects. And when people stop and ask who we are, we answer with what we do. I'm a teacher, I'm an engineer, I'm a mailman, I'm a parent, I'm retired. We define ourselves through motion, through achievements, through actions. But what happens when that all stops? When the job title disappears, the kids are grown, and the schedule suddenly is wide open. At first, it feels like freedom. Then, for many of us, it feels like a little bit of a loss. There's this strange moment early in retirement where the silence becomes really loud. You sit with your morning coffee, no emails, no deadlines, no plans. And that stillness, it's peaceful, but it's also a bit unfamiliar. We're not used to being alone with our thoughts without something to do. So we fill that space. We declutter, we reorganize, we plan new projects to start, we volunteer for anything and everything, we learn a new language, we join a club, we travel. And don't get me wrong, all those things can be wonderful. But sometimes the busyness of retirement becomes a disguise, a way to avoid a deeper question. Who am I if I'm not doing? Because in the quiet, we realize how much of our worth was tied up in being busy. I used to think I was terrible at relaxing. My brain was always working overtime. Even after retirement, I'd make to-do lists for my days off. Walk 5K, clean out the photos from my phone, try a new recipe, plan the perfect trip. And yes, I check them off proudly, like a gold star for being a good retiree. But here's what I realized. My addiction to productivity didn't end when my career did. It was who I was, and without realizing it, I brought that same doing energy into retirement, as if my value still depended on how much I got done in a day. That's when it hit me. I wasn't learning how to live. I was trying to manage retirement like another project. So what does being really mean? It's not about sitting still all day or giving up goals. It's about presence. Being is when you walk without a destination, just to feel the breeze. It's when you make coffee and actually taste it. It's when you sit in silence and let the moment unfold without needing to capture it or share it. Do you remember when you were young and you wondered why the elderly neighbor just sat and stared out their picture window? It would make me sad for him. Now I get it. It's small, simple, and easily missed. But it's where peace lives. The irony is being doesn't come naturally after a lifetime of doing. It feels unproductive and almost wrong. But the more I practice it, the more I allow myself to pause without guilt, the richer my days have become. What has helped me become more present and slow my brain from thinking of a million things I need to do is I sit and I do puzzles. All I think about is finding the next puzzle piece. Here's what I've learned from the quiet. First, the world does not fall apart when you slow down. You realize life keeps moving, even if you're not steering it every second of the day. Second, rest isn't laziness, it's nourishment. Our minds, our hearts, and even our creativity need stillness to grow. And third, being present makes small moments enormous. A sunset lasts longer when you're not thinking about what's next. A conversation feels deeper when you're not multitasking. Being teaches us to live in color and not grayscale. Many retirees say, I miss having a purpose, but maybe we're just all looking in the wrong places. Purpose doesn't always mean a new business or a new volunteer project. Sometimes it's as quiet as being available, being grateful. When you shift from doing something important to being someone at peace, the weight of retirement lifts. You stop chasing meaning and you start noticing that it's right there all along, waiting for you to slow down long enough to feel it and notice it. Here's a few ways that I've learned to practice being. I start my morning without a plan. I just sit, I listen, I breathe, and I see where my day wants to go instead of forcing it. I do one thing slowly, whether it's washing the dishes or taking a walk. I move deliberately. I notice the textures, the smells, and the sounds. I unplug daily. No screens, no noise. Even like 20 minutes a day can reset your brain. 4, I let myself be unproductive. I read for pleasure, I watch the clouds, and I daydream a lot. You're not wasting time, you're finally meeting it. And 5, as I mentioned before, I do puzzles. There has been no better way for me to slow down and be in the moment. I used to think satisfaction came from crossing things off a list. Now it comes from being present enough to notice the light coming through the window, the warmth of a fuzzy blanket, the laughter of a friend. The joy of being isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, and deeply human. And once you learn to live there, the need to do so much slowly fades. So if you have this feeling of restlessness in retirement, always searching for the next project or purpose, maybe it's not about doing more. Maybe it's about being more present in what you already have. Because the truth is, we've spent our lifetime proving ourselves. Now we just get to know ourselves. And that, I think, that's a real reward of retirement. If this message resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people who are navigating this stage of life. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep breathing, keep noticing, and keep learning to just be. We'll see you on the next one.